I was having an email conversation with somebody about my new Fractional CMO services, and he was asking, like, when is the right time? How does someone know that it's the right time to bring on a fractional CMO? And as I was responding to him, I had this thought, this metaphor that I think is really appropriate, and it's tied to this movement from being an entrepreneur who's like in there making your business, like creating your business, to a leader who's stepping back and running a growing, thriving business. And so today I want to talk about that transition of moving from entrepreneur to leader, and I want to share this cool metaphor that I thought of. Real humble there, right? So in the beginning, an entrepreneur is like the captain of the ship, right? The ship is your business, and in order to take your ship on its first voyage to go from where you are to where you want to go, you hire a crew, right? You set the destination, you navigate the course, right? You're steering the wheel, you're barking out the commands, right? You are the captain at the wheel of this like classic sailing ship, right? And you're getting them to put the sails up, you're having the crew do everything, but it's always you in charge, you calling out the commands. And that's critically important for an entrepreneur to be able to do for the early success of their business. You have to be really in there and managing everything and making sure that the ship sails how it needs to sail, right? And with early success, you actually end up doing that again and again. You choose, okay, we're going to this port, and we're going to this port, and we're going to this port, and you may grow the crew, you may get a bigger ship, right? You may expand the business a bit. You may train and increase the skills. So somebody that started out swabbing the decks, maybe they have bigger responsibilities going forward, right? There's going to be changes and responsibilities and all of that. But it's still you. It's still you as the captain of the ship, right? But as you do that, each journey starts to get harder and harder. As the business grows, as you grow more crew, as you get more crew, as you go on all these different journeys, maybe if you get a bigger ship, right? There's more responsibility to all of it, right? There's more management of every element involved. And as the ship is changing and like the ship is wearing, and there's different challenges that the ship faces and the crew faces, there's going to be a lot of management. And especially if your business is growing and thriving, there's just more and more weight on your shoulders to succeed with every journey. And for a while, it can make sense for you to be in there and doing it. But oftentimes, the entrepreneur who chooses to continue to be the captain of the ship for every journey, they hit a point with the business growth where it's a struggle to continue with this. It's a struggle because it's just overwhelming to manage all of the complexity, to manage all of the teams involved for success, to manage all of the responsibilities and keep your fingers in all of the pots, right? And that's going to continue to happen as long as you choose to play the captain role as the entrepreneur. And so there's this critical transformation that happens from captain to Magister Navis, and that's a term from ancient Rome. If you were perhaps a wealthy business owner in ancient Rome, you would not necessarily captain every ship. You would say, okay, I want this grain to move from North Africa to Rome, right? And so I'm going to hire this ship, and I may choose to be on it. I may even hire a whole fleet of ships. I may choose to be on it, but my role is to choose where the ships are going and to be the ultimate person who is in charge, but to then step back and let a new captain manage the ship throughout the journey. Let a new captain be in charge, right? So it's this choice to hand off the captain role in favor of this. Really, it's a higher level role. It's a role where rather than being there at the wheel of the ship, which can feel exhilarating at the beginning of the business. Rather than being there at the wheel of the ship, you say, I want this ship to just take me there. Here's where I want to go. I want the ship to take me there. And so as this leader, as this Magister Navis, right? And that's where the term master comes from in sailing. As this leader, you set the destination, you set the KPIs, the key performance indicators for what you want your business to do, for what success is going to look like. But then you let someone else captain the boat. And perhaps you might even grow a fleet of ships. So you may have the marketing ship, the sales ship, the operations ship, the technology ship, all the different ships in the business, right? But you have this fleet of ships and you say, I want marketing to go here. I want sales to go here. I want operations to go here. I want, technology to go here. And you may be involved. Obviously, you're going to want to get feedback from your different captains. You're going to want to be communicating, right? But you don't have to manage all of that. You don't have to manage all of that. And this is a critical transformation that changes you from an entrepreneur into the leader of the business, the CEO of the business, the owner of the business, who is not in there having to stick your fingers in everything. And it allows your business to grow much more successfully because when you hand off the captain role, it means that your business can just do more than if everything has to report to you all the time, right? So if you have a captain in marketing and you have a captain in sales, and the other thing is you may find captains for each of these ships who are perhaps a better fit for the captain. Like your role was to captain the small ship, right? But the captain who is able to take over this role, maybe they have strengths that you didn't have, and maybe it allows you to go off and say, okay, I'm going to hire this fleet to go do this, but I want to go on this other adventure, right? And it allows you to captain a different ship. It's about the freedom that you get. And so you're hiring captains. When you're hiring captains, you decide what journey you want them to take, right? They're not going to take over that decision making from you. At least a good one shouldn't. A good captain should respect you in that role of deciding what the journey is going to be. So what are the KPIs? What's the port that we're headed to? What's the destination? Often this is leads, clients, sales, and profits, like especially with marketing and sales, right? Those are the key metrics that we're gonna face there, right? And so the captain is then given the power to manage the how and the who. So how do you get more leads? How do you get more clients? How do you generate more sales? How do you generate more profits, right? And the captain figures that out. The how is the strategy, right? And the captain manages the team. It's actually the captain who takes the wheel and says, okay, we've been tasked this destination. We've been tasked with getting to this destination. Here's what we need to do to make this happen. And you do this, and you do this, and you do this, right? And so in a thriving, successful business, oftentimes this ends up being the C-level leadership role, right? It doesn't always have to be a C-level leader, but that's the type of person, a person that elevates themselves into the C-level is the type of person who is going to succeed here. And it's not always possible to promote this person from within. You may have a marketing department full of technicians, or a sales department full of salespeople, or a technology department full of coders and developers, right? So you're not necessarily able to promote those people from within. You need somebody who is able to take leadership, right? But also your fleet may not be big enough yet that it's best to hire full time, which is where the fractional leadership role comes in, which is where, if you were to bring me in as the fractional CMO, that's the kind of role that I'm looking for. And that's the kind of role where it is a good fit. That business, it's maybe between, $3 to $5 million up to maybe about $50 million, where it doesn't make sense necessarily to have that full-time CMO in, but it does make sense to have somebody who's able to really take that leadership role, that captain role within the marketing department, and to succeed with that. And so, just asking more generally, are you ready to be the true leader of your business? Oftentimes, and I alluded to this before, but there's that quote, what got you here won't get you there. If you want to grow your business, what it takes, that entrepreneur role where the entrepreneur is the captain, will not necessarily take you to the next level. You do have to step back. You have to let other people take charge of elements of your business with your oversight, right? With your oversight as the master, the Magister Navis, right? But what's going to get you to that next place that you want to get to is not necessarily staying in there and being the captain of every ship or every part of the ship, right? And it can be difficult. Many entrepreneurs, by personality, don't want to let go of the captain role. Many entrepreneurs want to get in there. And so you also need somebody who's able to say, okay, that's a great idea. How does it fit within this big fleet that we now have running, right? But it is necessary in most businesses. At a certain point, growth does require you to step back and stop being that person who's making the day-to-day decisions, and instead be the person who's looking at the big picture and making the big picture decisions. And the good news about it is the more that you're able to fill that role to become the leader and become a true CEO, chief executive officer of your business, as opposed to an entrepreneur who's in there just pushing, the more you actually experience freedom from your business, which for many entrepreneurs, that's why they started the business in the first place. So my call to action for you at the end of this episode is ask yourself how you can use this. What can you do in terms of your own personal transformation? What reflections do you need to make about where you are in this journey and what your next step might be? Like and subscribe if you want more content like this delivered to you. I have a link in the description that you can subscribe by email as well. And the first link in the description is to my new website for my fractional CMO services, especially for high ticket expert businesses. If that's you, you probably know that I'm talking to you. Folks who are using things like direct response marketing, funnels, paid ads, and all of that to grow from an expert authority perspective, right? Where there is an expert leading the show. So I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and I look forward to catching you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.